India had constituted the 7th Pay Commission in 2014, giving it 18 months' time to submit its report. The original period was up to 27th of August 2015. The time has been extended in order to enable the Pay Commission to have further consultations and submit a considered report. The members of the Commission, headed by Justice A.K. Mathur, a retired judge of the Supreme Court, has today just now submitted the 7th Pay Commission recommendations to me. I'm extremely grateful to Justice Mathur and his entire team who have put in a lot of effort over the last 23-24 months and prepared this document. With regard to the details of the document and some other preliminary comments, I'll request Justice Mathur to kindly make a brief statement.
Thank you, Mr. Jaitley sir. We have completed the report. The report runs into about 900 pages, and we have dealt with all the aspects pertaining to the subject. We have heard all the parties. We have gone to the places and seen the real hardship which is being faced by the people all over the country. We will issue just now a press note with permission of the Honorable Minister for your information. But before that, I may give you some headlines which will enable you to appreciate. The implementation, as we've been given to understand, has to come from 1/1/2016. The government will have to take a call for that. And the minimum pay which we have fixed, applying the accrued formula which has been suggested by the JCM, which we have accepted it, and the basic pay will start at 18,000. We have abolished the grade pay and the pay band also. So, and that the total increase in the basic pay will be 14.27. The speculation of 15 was little off the mark. The maximum pay for a apex scale will be 2,25,000, and the cabinet secretary's pay will be about 2,50,000. The pay structure, considering the grade pay structure, the state of employees hereto will and the fitment formula will be 2.57 for all. Then the annual increment will be 3%. We have kept the MSCP, modified insured career progression, that is the same scale 10, 20 and 30 years. We have increased the military service pay for defense personnel, that is today they are getting 6,000, officer will get 15,500, and for the nursing staff 10,800, and for the non-combatants, JCO and combatants 5,200 from 2,000, and for the non-combatants enrolled in Air Force from 1,000 to 3,600. We have also made a provision for short service commission officers because they had made a very strong grievance about it, that their condition is not very ameliorating. We have recommended that the short service commission officer will be allowed to exit armed forces at any point in time between 7 to 10 years of service, with the terminal gratuity equivalent to 10.5 months of reckonable emoluments. They will further be entitled to fully funded 1-year executive program or MTech program at the Premier Institute. We have also recommended for the lateral entitled settlement also. For that, a specific requirement of the organization to which the personnel will be absorbed for lateral entry in the CAPF Central Armed Forces will make an attractive severance package when they are recommended for joining to the CPF. The parity between the dispute between the headquarter and the field area, that we have maintained that there will be a parity between headquarter and the field area, and there will be no disparity between them with regard to their perks and salary. And they will continue to be reviewed as in reviewed for the headquarters. Same will be applicable to the field also. Then we have also recommended that there is a lot of grievance with regard to non-review of the cadre, that we have recommended that the government should take immediate steps for periodical review of the cadre. We have also revised the entire set of allowances. About 52 allowances have been abolished and about 36 allowances have been submerged in their allowances. And we have made a new chapter of risk and hardship allowance. The maximum allowance which we have allowed is the Saichin allowance, which is from 21,000 to 31,500 we have increased. From 21,000 to 31,500 for the senior officers, JSU and others from 14,000 to 21,000. There will be a benefit for them for hardship, and for the house allowance also we have made a provision for them, which was a great grievance there also. We have also made same conditions, almost allowances part is concerned will be paramilitary as far as possible, will be applicable to of CAF, Central Paramilitary Forces also, except those that is MSCP will be only applicable to Army and pension will be Army. Because you know that after 2014, the NSP, the National Pension System has been introduced by the enactment of the Parliament. So that will be applicable to civilian and armed forces. But for the armed forces, defense forces, the NPA will not applicable. They will continue to be applied to their own pre-2002 scheme. But so CPF is concerned, they will continue to go on by civilian and they will not be entitled to MSCP. MSCP and NPA will be only two peculiar things applicable to the defense forces. We have also accepted the guard allowances have been increased, house rent allowance have been increased to 25 lakhs. We have also group insurance scheme amount has been increased to about 50 lakhs. And we have also increased the monthly deductions also for the persons who are in the pay matrix. A new pay matrix has been introduced. Grade pay have been abolished. Pay band have been abolished. Now there will be open matrix and each will be able to know where they stand in the matrix. And the fitment formula has been given 2.57. So that persons who are getting today whatever salary, it will be multiplied by 2.57. We have, with regard to medical facilities, we have requested the government that it should be insurance. That is the best answer for it. But till it is done, till that time, we have requested that all the dispensaries which are registered with the military medical services will be mutandis will be governed by the CGHS, and CGHS will clear their bills without any agitation, because postal employees were greatly expressed their anguish on that part. Another thing which is more important and which is peculiar to this is the pension. The formulation of pension which I have given is one rank, one pension, which will be applicable to civilian also and paramilitary forces also and to the armed forces also. My principle of pension is this only, that today if a man retires, he must get same pension as a person who retired 10 years or 20 years back. In the pay matrix, a simple thing has been worked out, that person who has retired as a UDC, he will find his place minimum in the present matrix, and how many years increment he has done, that will be calculated, and 50% of that he will get it the pension. Same formulation has been given for the defense forces also. For example, a colonel retired 20 years back and colonel retires today, who has been appointed prior to 2004. his pay